Hey guys, I'm back. I'm late. Are we surprised? No, we should not be surprised. Now, I did do my budget on June the 3rd, which was Friday, but it was a busy weekend. I was racing on Saturday. We won bronze, by the way. And then I was recovering on Sunday. So I did mean to film yesterday, but I fell asleep and had a very long afternoon nap, like an old person. Yeah, but here we go. Budget for June the 3rd. There's so much happening, you guys. My budget's been boring for so long, and now I feel like all these things are happening at once, and it's kind of crazy town. Yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so the balance that I began with was $1,774.16. First thing I did, as per the usual, let's pull out part of rent. $1,381.66. Now, this pay period, today actually, although it hasn't gone through yet, is supposed to be my very first car payment because you guys, my vehicle, it came in, I picked it up. It is a thing of beauty and joy and wonder, and now I have to start paying for it. So, my car payment bi-weekly, it's a bit more than I wanted it to be. I didn't want to go over 250, but once you add it in, like, all the crap they convince you to add in, I mean, it is what it is. So I'm gonna hope it goes out before midnight. I mean, like, it all got set up. My paperwork says that my first payment goes out today, so I don't really know what's going on. I keep checking the bank and it hasn't gone yet. So that leaves me with $1,114.94. Then my next priority is my line of credit, which is super painful. I put $260.18. So that leaves me with $854.76. And then, I pulled out the percentage I got paid out for my vacation, like, because I don't get vacation days, like it pays out every paycheck. So $143.91. And now I also have to start paying into my car insurance. My car insurance sinking fund, because I re-upped my car insurance, as one does. That's gonna be messy. Okay, it's messy. Don't judge. I have to figure out how I'm gonna make things look nice. But when I picked up the car and did all the insurance and everything, I think it was like $69 to pay the difference in between the date I picked it up to cover it until my insurance renewal. So I did that, and then the insurance guy was like, if you want to, you can just re-up your insurance now. Like, it'll take effect on the normal renewal date, so I'm not like losing some time or kind of double paying since I just paid that 60 whatever dollars. And I figured I might as well, because I had the money already saved up in the sinking fund for my insurance, and just like get it all done with, like, so I don't even have to worry about it. So that's what I did. So I put that on the credit card and then pulled the money out of the sinking fund to pay it off, and then calculated out how much my car insurance was for this vehicle for the coming year. And I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but then I divided it by 27, which is how many pay periods I will have in between now and when it renews next time. And then that brought me to $67 per paycheck being put aside so that I will have enough for my car insurance next year. I think I rounded it up a tiny bit. I tend to. And also, that sinking fund didn't get fully depleted because my car insurance, I had saved up $2,000 and it was less than that. So I left like that leftover money, I left it in the sinking fund, so it kind of seeded it a little bit. I don't remember exactly how much I left in there. It doesn't matter because I'm not deducting that from how much I'm putting in. Like, I'm still acting as if I started from zero because I would rather have a little extra in there, because car insurance, you think you know what it's going to cost you, and then you're wrong, inevitably wrong, every single time wrong. So I thought a little extra in there, it's not going to hurt anything. Yes, okay. So the next thing is my regular sinking funds. I suppose I could lump those together and just take out one lump sum and then divvy them out later, the way that I do with this 120, how it goes to 3 different sinking funds. I probably will at some point, but I think just because this is the first time I'm doing this in like however long, and just to make sure that I remember where it's going and how much and everything. Pulling out 80 bucks for work parking. And I actually pulled that out yesterday. And then I managed to put $25 into my Wealthsimple investing, which I don't know enough about investing to know if maybe I should not be putting money in it right now, because the markets are not great. I don't understand why, because I don't understand markets, but they're not great. And what was once a portfolio that was like making money, I'm now negative. So maybe putting more money in there is not really helping. But then once it starts to, like the market, once it starts to get better, won't I be better off for having like continued to fund it? I don't know. Do you know? I really don't know. Okay. I gave myself 50 bucks for food and other, which I have spent. I think I've spent all but $2 of it, so it's gone. But it's okay. I spent it on groceries. So far, I'm down to $368.85. And then I'm pulling out, well, I have pulled out $20 for Striker. That is the cat who is control of my life. Because I used to budget for like his food and his litter. And then I hit a spot in my budget where I could just absorb the cost of his way overpriced food and his litter in my regular like food and other, or even just in sort of that little bit of money that I always leave in the account, because I never know exactly when he's going to run out of food, because he eats at whatever rate he feels like eating. He eats dry food. It's his preference. And so sometimes he kind of like goes through it a bit faster, sometimes not as fast. But the medium-sized bag, which is what I usually buy for his food, has been out of stock for months now. And so I'm stuck buying the tiny bag. So of course he's going through that faster, and it's not as great of a deal, but it's the only one I can buy. He's ridiculously food picky, in case you're wondering why I don't just switch food. He will not eat unless it's this food. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so I decided to pull out 20 bucks. I'm going to put it in my little mason jar for savings and do that every paycheck, just so it won't necessarily cover like the full cost of his food, depending on when the bag runs out and when I've dipped into the mason jar to pay for like his most recent bag. But it's just something so that I have a bit of it, like the cost of it already saved up. I don't know if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me, and it's my budget, so I guess that's all that matters. I put $53 in the savings challenge, because I'm still doing that, even though I keep pulling from it. I think now it's just more the idea of I'm putting it aside, even if I end up using it to go towards an expense, like it's going to a practical or like a big expense. And I think it's just good habit to always put some money aside. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up as I go along, guys. And then $100 for England. And oh boy, do I have an update about that. Now, even I can do this math. So I'm left with $195.85, which seems amazing, but I've dipped into that because of course I have. So let me show you kind of what's been going on. Okay, is that... There we go. Okay, so this is what we've written down so far, and it looks all nice and promising, right? Like the bills have been paid. Although you may notice the visa has not been paid, but there's a reason for that. And I've got money for the vacation and all kinds of great things. This is my expense tracker, not doing so bad, right? I'm writing everything down. I color coded it this time. So purple is my debit account and the teal color is my credit card. But I don't know if you can read it, but right there, Air Canada, Mom's England ticket, Air Canada, my England ticket, Warner Brothers, Harry Potter tour, coach tour for Stonehenge and Bath, Hostel, London for Mom and I. Expenses, my friends, 2,678 and 96 cents times 2, 305.10, 332.69, 898.43. My credit card. I don't even earn like good points on the credit card because I have the cheap credit card that doesn't cost me anything per year because I don't make enough money for a better credit card with the bank that I bank with. Because I looked into it thinking, you know, I'm going to get one of the travel ones. Yeah, there's like a yearly fee, but I have all these expenses coming up. So like, it's going to be worth it. No, you have to make a certain amount of money to be able to get one of the travel cards. Who knew? Okay, here, all filled out. So my month's goal is to get a part-time job. I am trying. They are not easy to find, oddly enough. Then to deal with the Rav4 deposit, Rav4 insurance, England plane tickets, restart the car insurance sinking fund, add my SUV payment to the budget, and math for my line of credit. Those are my checklist items, and I have done them all, so gold star to me. My income for this pay period, $1,519.09. My savings, I went into the sinking funds, or I deposited into the sinking funds, my savings challenge, and my England fund. My little calendar, my parents' housekeeping happened earlier than expected, so I added that into the calendar. My Visa card is not yet showing what day it's going to be due on, so I can't fill that in yet. And the same with my cell phone, it's not yet showing its due date, so I decided to wait and add them in once they show me versus putting it where I'm guessing it might be and then putting an arrow to write it down, because you know why not? Let's try to make it a bit tidier. I have my very first car payment right there, but like I said, it hasn't gone out yet, so now I'm a little bit paranoid about that. Over here, everything kind of as per the usual, except I added in Striker under personal because I didn't know where to put them. I paid off some line of credit, and I've added in my SUV bi-weekly payment right there. So all of this is like pretty normal. I'm trying to think what to show you next. Okay, I'm going to show you, I was writing in my larger notebook, which may or may not fit on the screen. I guess we're going to find out. Okay, here it is. Okay, I like to have things written out all nice and neat so they make sense in my head. So my Rav4, I picked it up, so I technically purchased it on May 24th, according to the paperwork. This is what I was talking about. Oh, sorry. It was $62 about the insurance, how I had to like pay to sort of like top it up. So I paid the $62, and then that was for my full year of insurance, $1,830, and that's been paid off. And then I bought an additional insurance. It's a one-time payment, covers for 3 years. So if in the next 3 years, like something drastically horrible happens to my vehicle and it has to be replaced, it'll be replaced, and that cost me $1,254. Now that I was not expecting to purchase, I didn't know that existed, and I did not have money saved up for that, so that is just sitting on my credit card. I put a deposit of $3,000 down, so I initially paid for it with the Visa, then pulled out money from my Wealthsimple account to put onto the Visa, which I've done, and then my car payments down here are starting. So that is what's happening with the car. England, the plane tickets, yeah, it was just sort of like a breakdown on the day. So I figured out how much I still had in savings. I need to save 3 weeks worth of income so that I am not screwed when I come back from this vacation, because I need 3 weeks of income to be able to keep my life here just flowing in terms of bills and things like that. I actually have it saved, but I have nothing else saved, because like when I pulled all the money and kind of looked at how much I had and blah, 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 I was like, great, I have enough to cover those 3 weeks. I need to save up for like other things. So, I have 9 paychecks until we leave, which October seemed so much farther away than 9 paychecks. So what I am going to try to do is save $100 every paycheck. I already put away $100 on the last one. So I have $900, which once you convert it to the pound or the euro. I don't know which I'm converting it to. It's not going to be as much, but I mean, it's the best that I can do. So we're just going to have to go to it. I wanted to try to upgrade to nicer tickets since it's probably my mom's last flight. And I wanted to get her one of those ones where like it's like a bed and she can be super comfortable, because our flight over to England is an overnight one. So when else would be the perfect time to have the bed ticket than that? But I looked into upgrading using the bidding process, and the minimum bid that you can put down to upgrade to that level is like $900 and something per seat, and you can't do just for one seat. You have to do both because I bought them together. So as much as I really want to do that for her, I cannot do that for her because, oh my God, I can't afford that. Who can afford that? Rich people afford that. That's who afford that. Okay, and then I did a little calculation for my line of credit because it's getting to be insane. So right as the time that I did this, which was June 3rd, my debt on my line of credit is $13,008.95, which is horrifying. So my minimum biweekly payment as of June 3rd is $260.18. I have 27 paychecks in a year. So this is not calculating for compounding of interest or like adding in like the interest and the disability premium that gets charged to my line of credit once a month, anything like that. Like those are all variables that I don't know how to do calculations that include those. I'm not that smart. So this is just super basic, and then I just killed the light, and then I'll have to adjust. Did I break it? Oh, there we go. But so it's just super basic math, and I'll have to adjust as I go along, as like the disability premiums, etc., get added onto it, and then things like that. You know, I'm going to create some kind of a payoff tracker. We'll see how that goes. So I calculated it out. If I want to pay off this $13,008.95 in 1 year, every paycheck I have to put down $481.81, which clearly is not happening. And then it just reduces down based 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. So if I want to take 5 years, as long as I pay $96.36 bi-weekly, it'll be paid off. I mean, it won't, because like I said, those interest and disability premiums, but that's the best I can do for the math, you guys. I want somewhere in the middle of that. Do you know what I mean? I don't want it to take 5 years. I know in all of the research I did on paying off debt and things like that, you do have like a burnout. And they say that if you take anywhere over 5 years to pay off a debt, you just burn out with it, and you stop being really diligent with the payments. You stop making it a focus because you're just exhausted from it. And I completely understand that. So I don't want to do the 5 years. I don't even really want to do 4 or 3. I'd like to aim with the idea of 2, but with the idea of once the England trip is passed, prioritizing paying off the line of credit. And so then doing like I do every time I make a priority for a debt thing, where any extra money that I get goes to this debt. And then hopefully I can speed up that process. But we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm going to try. So we're getting a part-time job will come in handy if I could just get one. And then this is just an update to the England expenses. I'm going to keep it as like a running thing. So I don't know why, but the tickets went through as 2 separate lines on my credit card. So there's my mom's and mine. One was paid off on the 4th, one was paid off on the 7th. I'm also trying to keep track of things as they get paid off. And then we're going to the Warner Brothers Harry Potter tour studio thing. They filmed there. It's going to be amazing. And then Stonehenge and Bath on a coach tour. And then we're staying in this really nice looking hostel in London. My mom, she knows somebody who stays there who's like in her age range and says that it's good. And London's expensive, so it's kind of what we can afford. Even then, a hostel for 2 people for like, what is it, 4 nights or something? $898.43. Isn't hosteling supposed to be for like poor people? Or not poor people, but people on a budget? How is that a budget? Anyways, so the total for those 3 was $1,536.22. My mom was supposed to each transfer over half of that because we agreed to like split, because there's 2 of us splitting all of that. She sent $1,000. She's a lovely human being, and I didn't clue in until I was sitting down and doing this that she overpaid. So for my Wealthsimple account, I have just withdrawn today the $536.22. It won't come through to my bank account so that I can action and use it for approximately 2 to 3 business days. So towards the end of the week, I will pay off the $536.22 on the credit card, and then that will mean that all of our England expenses so far are paid off, which is great. I mean, it won't last, right? I have to get travel insurance and God knows what else, but at least like I'm getting there. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. Do you see what I mean? There's like all these little moving pieces because there's the car starting and there's England happening and I can't track things. I'm not good at that. It's not, I mean, I wanted a less boring budget, but I don't know that this is what I was thinking. So here, my England fund, I've added in $100. The emergency fund down here, I have run out of lines, so I'm not sure where I'm going to pick that one up again. Is sitting at $1,954.14, which is great. I mean, it's an emergency fund, so I'm not touching it, but good to know it's there. My dragon boating, I've finished up that, but it's going to jump down and kick up here. So I've got $480.29 saved so far. That's dragon boating and presents. And I haven't paid my dragon boating fees yet this year, so that'll be depleted at some point. My savings challenge, I mean, I write it, but I keep withdrawing, so it's not really that balanced. And then this one here is my travel fund, which, man, am I grateful that I was just like willy-nilly putting money into it. Because that one is sitting at a beautiful $1,840.79. And then my debt tracker, so the student loan paid off, still proud, woohoo, go me. The line of credit. So I've added in the starting balance here with the first payment, but I think I said, I want to make like an actual tracking sheet of some sort. I just haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to make it look like yet. The Visa, just ignore that page. And I think that's it. And then last is my little check marks. So the rent is done. Like, yes, I paid the Visa multiple times because I paid off for the expenses that I put on it, but I didn't put a check mark there because it's not like I was like, oh, this is my balance and this is how much I'm putting towards it. It's like, oh, here's a plane ticket. I'm paying off the exact amount of the plane ticket and such. So it just kind of evens out in the end. I didn't make a separate Visa payment like in the budget like you saw because I had so much charging on it and then paying it off right away that honestly, like, I can't figure out what that balance is sitting at. Even when I look at it, it's showing, you know, pending in the negatives because not all of the payments have processed through yet. And it has two different totals for apparently what's on the card. I have to wait till everything processes to see where that card sits. I really don't know. On a credit payment, the housekeeping happened. So I'll check that off in a random color. It's gonna bug me later. There's no student loan. All of these were done. I donated to another charity earlier than my like every 3 months idea because somebody asked and I couldn't say no. It's Wigs for Cancer. It's a good cause. Then my investing, here's the beginning of my car payment if it ever goes out. And then I've added in my England sinking fund, I guess it is, or savings or whatever, and then my car insurance sinking fund so that I don't forget them because they're new and I'm a little bit worried I'll forget them. So yeah, that is the budget. It feels very, not chaotic exactly, like it's there, it's happening, it's figured out. I thought I was in worse shape than I was. And then when I actually sat down and did it, I had this huge feeling of relief afterwards when I realized how much I had saved up that I didn't realize I had saved up that can go towards the trip. So hopefully the England trip won't put me in even so much more debt that I can't get out of it, because like the line of credit's hurting. It's probably going to end up having me putting the balance of whatever's on the Visa onto the line of credit just because it's lower interest rate, and then putting it up even higher before I really start working to get it lower. But I don't know, I'm just gonna have to see how things are going. So hopefully you guys were on time with your budget and it went well and everything is going okay in your little budgeting world. I think everything's going okay in mine. I'm just a little bit panicked about getting a part-time job, but we will work on that. So yeah, have a great couple weeks, you guys. I will talk to you with the next paycheck. Stay safe out there and enjoy the beginning of summer.